Blessings, beloveds. It's Lori Ann Spagna here with you today for just a few minutes. I want to chat with you briefly because we are in the peak or entering the peak of an eclipse cycle. In 3 days from the moment that I am recording this, we will be in our first eclipse, the peak of the first eclipse. We will enter the peak of the first eclipse of this calendar year, which is a lunar eclipse. And that is on the 25th of March. And the eclipse window is when the north nodes and the south nodes overlap with the moon and the sun and interact in the planetary lineup. And it really has already begun. You may have likely noticed the intensity in your life increasing already through the month of March. And this intensity will continue into April because the second eclipse of our year, this year, will be April 8th. So the window now between March 25th and April 8th will be quite intense. Overall, eclipse seasons always signal a need for change. And whenever there's a need for change, there are two groups of people. Two kinds of people, and you have to decide for yourself which you are. There are the people who resist change, fight and struggle against it, or the people who embrace change and welcome it. Either way, the change will happen because that's what eclipses herald, and they are always karmic-related issues, karma, dharma, because the north and the south node are always relative and relevant to our karma, dharma. And the sun and the moon are always relevant to us personally. And of course, because these are planetary, global, they affect the whole population. So the sun tends to have a lot to do with our personality selves, the way we experience ourselves in the world, and the way we perceive ourselves in the world, as well as the way sometimes others perceive us. We are the sons of God, essentially, right? And the sun is shining light on that. Who are we? How do we show up? How do we represent? And the moon is related to our nurturing, how we nurture ourselves and others, how we feel nurtured, how we experience ourselves as being cared for or not cared for, or how we take care of others, or how we love and nurture others within our group, our family, our home, our societies, our communities. So these are the major themes we will be dealing with. And because this overall is a year that is designed to bring about more overall strength, because 8 has a lot to do with strength, with perseverance, with expansion and contraction. That is what is going on during these eclipse seasons. It's designed to help us expand. However, very oftentimes there are periods of extreme contraction that take place in the middle ground. So for whoever you are, it is important for you to look within your life. Are you one of the people who will resist the change and go through contraction? Or are you one of the people who will expand with the change and allow yourself to expand and evolve? Now, I have to emphasize this. If you are one of the people who will resist the change in your life, you will find this to be much more painful for you. If you are one of the people who will seek the expansion, who will look for how this is good and right and serving you, this, whatever this is for you, whatever's going on in your life, you will find it to be much more extraordinarily helpful to you. This week I've taken a much needed semi-vacation. It's a working vacation. This is one of those times I could say I'm living the laptop lifestyle. I've been traveling. I really needed time off. There's very little work I actually did except for where my obligations and commitments were. I honored those, of course, because I am a person in my integrity and I honor my commitments and my agreements. I found myself during my travels, and I'm in the woods, and I'm just really loving nature and quiet time, and I've been, oh gosh, just really relishing in it. Strangely, inside the woods, like in the middle of nature, in hiking trails and around lakes, and that's how I've been enjoying my time, I have had visits from 4 ladybugs. 4 ladybugs. And I mean, ladybugs come out in the spring. Now, this is the spring, but ladybugs typically hibernate in the winter. So they don't really reveal themselves in the winter, right? They're hibernating creatures. And I just thought it was so funny and relevant for me because, like, in multiple places, like I'm in different Airbnbs, 4 ladybugs, and there was a 5th one last night that sort of came and went. So actually, I count that one 5. So I thought this is so interesting. So, I tuned in through animal communication. Now, I always know that ladybugs have to do with community, and I know that that's a general message of them. And they generally are very about good luck and good fortune. They're considered to be a positive message, animal totem. But I went a little deeper, and I thought it was so interesting. One of the things I got was from Ladybug was the weight of an old weight in an old habit associated with debt is being lifted from you and your life. And wow, how relevant for me. That is related to karma, dharma, an old karmic pattern being resolved. I'm noticing in my own life how there were patterns in me that were really wanting to people please, that I'm being freed and liberated from in a whole new way. I also further looked into message from Ladybug, and this inspired me to share this with you because it's relevant for the eclipse. And Ladybug says that she reminds you, all of us, to look for the blessings in every situation. No matter how small or insignificant the blessings may seem, that we are all part of nature and all connected to everything and everyone. And so when we can find and see the blessings in everything, even the challenging and contracted and constricted states, we really, truly can benefit and grow through these contracted types of experiences. I will say for myself personally, it's never really fun to go through those kinds of experiences, especially when it feels as though it's being put upon you by other people, especially if it's other people, in my case, that I've really tried to please, that I've really tried to contribute to and tried to be of service to, right? And I'm not a martyr. I know that I was doing my best, and I understand the people pleaser is being cleared, and I understand there's changes coming through for me about elevation and expansion. And I'm seeing the blessings in it. I'm seeing the growth, even though the friction that I experienced with some of the community people around me was not fun or enjoyable to me. So I'm offering this because that is how I teach. That is how I share. I share personal experiences to help and inspire others. And I've always been that way. That's part of how I am a teacher. I share my personal experiences to help people grow. And I just thought it was fascinating. I wanted to share with you about the ladybug and how relevant that is for this window of time we are about to embark on. So please know this from the depths of my heart. In the window which we're just entering, we've already entered it in March. It's escalating through the 25th. It will continue to be in a peak window period through, likely mid-April, but it will definitely peak up in April. The window between now and April 8th, which are the first 2 eclipses of this year, we are going to be experiencing some intense growth. And it is important for you to be asking yourself, are you on the side of contraction and limitation and trying to resist change? and transformation that ultimately is for your most benevolent best? Or are you on the side of welcoming that change in and allowing growth to take place in your life and seeing and realizing that even if you can't necessarily see the blessings that are ahead, that there are indeed blessings that are part of the change, and that you are part of the integral change of everything going on earth. And your contribution matters, whether it's to your family, your immediate community, the greater good of humanity. Your willingness to contribute in a positive and expanding and uplifting way, it matters to the world. It matters to the people around you. It matters to the people you affect. It matters to the people you interact with. And so I'm inviting you, as Ladybug invited me, to see the positive blessings in your life, no matter what's going on, to see the positive change, or at least to open up to the potential that these eclipse windows and these cycles and the friction in your life, which is inevitable in an 8-year, 2024 is an 8-year, that these temporary contracted states are inviting you to open up to something so much greater and to receive the greater blessings that are available to you now. I know that is happening in my personal life. It is happening in my professional life, and I am welcoming and embracing the change. I hope you will too, and I am grateful for Message of Ladybug. Wow, and I'm so grateful now I get to share it with you. It's making me feel happy that I get to share the gifts of my learning and transformation with you, because that is my role on earth as a light leader. That is my role as a healer, as an intuitive, as an ascension guide, as an animal communicator, as an energy worker, as an astrologer, like all the tools in my toolkit that I use. I'm sharing them with you now. I hope this has been helpful to you. I want to take just a brief moment to also let you know that on April 16th, I am also doing a rare and very highly progressive webinar, and I would love to have you join me. And it's labeled Impromptu Group Healing and Channeling Webinar. It is a primarily healing event. We are going to be working to clear fear and density out of the brain and out of the energy body, all the subtle energy bodies, and really activate more of the sacred heart center and the brain matter in the heart. This is not woo-woo. There is brain matter in the heart that needs to be developed in humans for us to be functioning in a more ideal and optimal way, and for us to be really healing ourselves and resolving our issues that are not working for us anymore on earth and that are keeping us stuck and small. So it is a 2+ hour sacred energy healing event, and it will be part tutorial and part process where you will experience for yourself the practice, and you will learn it, and you will be able to utilize it and apply it in your life and with others. Truly powerful, not a beginner course, but anyone, you can be a beginner and you will have an experience profound game changer results. You can register on my website under the Work with Lori tab. You will see Impromptu Group Healing and Channeling event, and it is on Tuesday, April 16th. It is right now at a reduced rate. That rate will increase once the rate goes up. I will not reverse it. So, because that's extra work and we just don't have the time for that anymore. So I'm giving you plenty of notice. Register early. You will get the recording. It is a game changer event. Let me say a few more things. When big changes like this come up in life, like during this eclipse window, people experience fear. And the drama increases on earth. When drama increases, people experience heightened states of fear. And fortunately for me, I do not live in that space. I really do not have that. I am so grateful. And it's because of this and other practices like it. where I've just cleared this out. If fear manifests in many different kinds of ways, worry, doubt, it manifests as, lack of certainty. It manifests as projecting your wounds onto others. It manifests as unpleasant relationships with people. It manifests as, not having the kind of success in your career that you want. It manifests as not having the kind of audience that you want. It manifests as, physical health issues for sure. It manifests as various forms of mental and emotional dysfunction. It manifests as dysfunction in relationships. I think I mentioned that. It manifests as doubt and uncertainty about the direction of your life, or a lack of clarity about the direction you're going in, or uncertainty about, right and appropriate next steps or right action to take. It manifests in very destabilizing ways. Of course, it's projected onto others. People around you feel it or sense it. They don't necessarily enjoy you as much, or you don't enjoy your own thoughts, or you go into states of anxiety or concern, or is this just like how it manifests, right? It's bringing humanity down, and it's just so unnecessary, and it's a form of energy, all different kinds of frequencies, and it gets trapped in the brain. It gets trapped energetically in the chakra systems. It gets flowed through and causes all kinds of blockages in the physical, emotional, and mental bodies. And it becomes the very blocks of why we can't see or perceive our own limitations and why we experience such challenges in life. So all I can say is, when we start learning how to move that out of the body in ways that are completely safe and enjoyable, we completely shift and change. Our reality changes. We become the empowered people we're meant to be. We start living from a more empowered state and start enjoying our lives so much better, so much more. And we start being the people we're meant to be on earth. We start living the lives we're meant to live. So to me, this is a game changer tool, and it is an experience, because too many people, I think, are going through life trying to left analyze their way through and figure their way out, and it just doesn't work. It's the overuse of the analytical brain and the underuse of the sacred heart center and the heart brain and even the gut brain. These things need to be resolved, but part of that process is such an important process, clearing the energy of fear and density out of the body and the being and the subtle energy bodies, the layers and levels of consciousness. So this is a game changer event. It's so truly so profound. One other thing I want to say about this, and again, it's on Tuesday, April 16th. You'll see it on my website at lauriespagna.com under the live events tab. You'll see impromptu group healing and channeling event. This is a particular healing event. What I want to say about old paradigm spirituality, if you understand what I'm saying here, it's, organized religion tends to fall under this category, but old paradigm spirituality is something we learned about or read about or studied for the most part. New paradigm is experience, direct experience. That is what this is. Direct experience is what transforms, is the transformational energetic that is required for our evolution, for our growth, for our happiness, for our fulfillment, for developing our intuitive gifts, talents, and abilities, for bringing us into more divine alignment with our own source. Experience. Nothing can, no amount of left brain learning or studying can do that for you, and no amount of mild light alpha brainwave meditation can do that for you. No amount of visualizing. No, this is different. This is going way beyond the brain and clearing the brain of the density that's been in the way of the true union and connection with Source and the experience of knowing self as Source. Self sourced connection. You will absolutely love this. It is so progressive, and you do not have to be advanced to do it. It's so simple, it's so easy, and so effective. Game changer. I hope you will join me. It is on Tuesday, April 16th, and this live event will be recorded. Even if you can't be there live, you will get the recording. It is a game changer. You will love it and hugely benefit. I hope you will register. I will put the link below so that you can join us. Please join us now before the rate increases. It will increase. And without notice. Once the rate increases, I'm not doing a reverse on it. I hope you will join us. It is worth far more than what I am asking for in terms of fair reciprocity. This is for those of you who say you want to work with me and you feel that the budget is restrictive for you. Join us now. Don't delay. All right. I'm sending you so much love, and I'm wishing you your most benevolent best, especially through this upcoming eclipse season. Lots of love. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.